Morning all. So for the holiday weekend, we're back on the Impala here, and I'm gonna try to get everything welded up on this side and everything ground down. So we got a couple of days to work, so let's see how far we get.
No, you're not bringing home another piece of junk.
All right, I got a new addition to the shop here. So I picked this guy up at Harbor Freight. This is a press brake and roll, and I've had one of these machines before. That it's a pretty good little machine. I had one in a maintenance shop I managed, and we used it just for fabricating all kinds of stuff. And they're a pretty resourceful little machine. I had a 5-foot sheet metal brake in here that was more of an HVAC type brake that I had been using for a long time, and I just I never bent anything that big with it. It was always, a foot or 2 foot maybe at the most, pieces that I would be bending for fabricating on cars. So I sold that to a buddy of mine that owns an HVAC shop, and they're going to use that more for what it's intended for. And I used the money and I went and I bought this, and I also bought a throatless shear that I got coming. So I'm thinking I'm going to move this down to the end of the table a little bit, down on this end, and mount that shear down on that end. And I had this old tool cart around. I put some casters on it I got from Harbor Freight. And this thing had been sitting around forever. I keep stuff in the drawers, but the top, all it ever did was gather junk. So I thought, let's make a little more use of it and do something with it other than pile crap on it. So looking forward to using that thing. I think I'll make good use of that. So, well, there you go. I got the whole thing welded up. I got everything ground down. It's looking pretty good. I've kind of put a door handle on there just for reference, and I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. So one thing I'm figuring out doing this is when you're welding, see, it's a 61, so it's 50 years old. No, 60 years old. 60-year-old metal together from two different cars plus new metal. Getting everything perfect just ain't gonna happen. So, I know I kind of said during the videos I'd like to get as little filler as possible in there, but on some of these weld seams, we're just gonna have to flood that area and smooth it out to make it right. But did the best we could. I'm pretty happy with it. Now, learned a lot of things doing this side, so when I get to the other side, there's definitely some things I'll do different. So I had talked about this section down here before, that I cut this patch, and then I said I wish I had went ahead and gone down to this next seam, but I went ahead and used it because I already cut it. But dumb idea, and I'm not gonna make that same mistake on the other side, because now I ended up with a seam here, a seam here, a seam there, and a seam there, and it would have been so much easier just to bring this panel all the way down to this seam and bring it all the way over to this seam. So I've got the same rust area on this side right there, on the other side. So when I do that, I'm gonna fix that. So I'm gonna fix one more area on this side, and that's right there. So when you shut this door and you line everything up, you can kind of see that down here this corner is in. So I need to bring that corner out, and I think I'm gonna have to separate this outer skin from the back. I kind of welded that around and pull that out a little bit. I think that's just the way I made that patch back there is what caused that. And then I'm a little tight here. I'm gonna grind this out. So let's and then once I got that done, I'm pretty much calling this side done. Now I'm getting a lot of flash rust on here, just because of being in this part of Missouri and the humidity, and So I went ahead and ordered some epoxy primer, and I'm just going to shoot this side, you know, not put any filler on it yet, just shoot this side with epoxy primer just to stop that flash rust. Do the other side, then once all that's done, come back and start doing the body work on this side and getting everything smoothed in good. But I'm really happy with the way the car looks and the dimensions of it. So here's this side. Let's go take a look at this side. Oh yeah, yep, I like that other side a lot better. So we're gonna work on this door over here, see what we can do with that. And I picked this seat up a couple days ago off of a marketplace. This came out of a Bronco, I think, but it's like the perfect dimensions of that front seat there. So I needed a split back now that I got a two-door, and actually I got this seat for free, which was really cool. So I'm gonna see if anybody wants to buy an old janky four-door front seat. They probably don't. I'll probably end up cutting it up and throwing it away, but we'll try anyway. Okay, so let's fix this door down here. Okay, so I was able to I took my grinder and I opened this gap up, and that worked pretty well. And actually I opened the door and just took this hammer and whacked along the back side of this a couple of times, and that pulled this corner out, and we're in good shape there. And then I kind of opened this gap up a little bit to it was a little narrow there. So what I'm going to do, I took this piece of 3/16 rod. So I kind of got this V thing going on here, and this big gap here. So I'm going to take this piece and I bent it. I'm going to weld this guy in here, probably cut it off, I don't know, here maybe, and just kind of blend that piece all into this. I may even put that a little bit behind there to make this easier to blend. And then once I do that, I bent this side. I'm going to put this guy right on this edge here and cut it right in there, I guess. Cut it down a little lower so I can blend this edge and blend that edge. Kind of make that all in there. I got one more little gap right, and then we're good to right there, and that's a little wide, so I think I'm just going to run a little bead of weld right along there, and then I should be able to grind that off smooth and make this gap even with these gaps. So it's working out good. Okay, get my welder and we'll do this. looks pretty good. Alright, I'll get my grinder going here. Grinding helmet out. Let's see with that other one. Oh, there it is. Good. Pretty darn close. Let's see what we got. Something to do. Yeah, I got rid of that V. Okay. So now I'm going to take this. I'll put it it off down here somewhere. This is gonna work. It's still not working. I gotta adjust it. Bend this in a little bit. Cut it off at an angle. You can still see that. Butter. I need a little weld right up there to kind of build that up, so I'll take this down to 1. Whoops, don't want that helmet. I burned my retinas before welding. That is no fun. It hurts. So close. Right here. Take this on here. A little bit right there too. Yep, like that. Okay. So we're good here, we're good here. I'm a little tight there. We're gonna grind that off a little bit. Get the door closed without hitting it. Open the door and do that with that on. Lock the door. Okay. So let's don't need much here. Let's use this guy. All right. So I think I need to add a little bit of weld to right there. Just a hair. Okay. So I'm gonna put this over here for a second, so I don't have to keep moving it when I open and close the door. Let's see what that looks like. That's good. So I gotta take a little off here, and I gotta add a little more there. Good. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah, that's good. So I'm good here. I can file this down, grind that down, and this gap will be good. And then right there, I'm gonna need to take a little bit more off. get a pencil and mark that. So I don't forget. I'll spend a half hour looking for a pencil. I won't forget. Right there on that corner. Okay. Nope. Good. Tiny bit more. Still a little bit out. Okay, I like that. Outside of it with this just a bit. Okay, that's good. Over here a minute. Get that nice big blob of weld off there. Do that with the flapper grinder. Let me get this up here first. entertainment for you. Okay. Well, that is much better. What I got, a little bit I got here is a little wide. I think I'll probably use some of that all metal filler to kind of finish smooth that out, but probably need to add a little bit more there. But much better than what it was, and this is lining up good. Well, this is lining up, so we're in pretty good shape. Okay, make sure you hit so that's going to be all for today. Make sure you hit like, you hit subscribe. Leave some comments in the bottom. Share this video with some friends. You know, I'd like to get this page built up. Next thing we're going to do, like I said, we're going to epoxy primer this. But I'm going to start on the glass on this side to try to get that lined out. And I think we're going to do the back glass first because that's going to be the most difficult. So that'll be our next video, trying to get this back glass figured out. So have a good one.